Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Let's talk about Dylan Cease, outfielders to add, and more next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Wednesday, May 5th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and let's get things started with Dylan Cease, who has now been awesome for 2 straight starts. Scott, what is going on with Dylan Cease? What is he doing differently, and how far is he moving up your rankings?
Moving way up my rankings. He's moving just outside the top 50 because these weren't just 2 good starts for Dylan Cease. These were the best starts of his career, back to back. I combined 20 strikeouts between them, no earned runs. And that was after not going even 5 innings in any of his previous starts this season. So turned on a dime here, basically. And it's showing up primarily in the spin rate on his pitches. I mentioned after his last start when he struck out 9 Tigers in 7 shutout innings, the spin rate was way up on his fastball. It remained up in this latest start against the Reds, but also the slider. Its spin rate was way up too. In fact, if you took the spin rate from Cease's fastball on Tuesday and his slider, and you compared it to season spin rates for other pitchers, the fastball would rank behind only Trevor Bauer and Corbin Burns, and the slider would rank behind only Burns. So they look like elite pitches all of a sudden. A lot of life on them. And Cease was this was the pitcher Cease profiled to be from the beginning. So I think he's figured something out here, and I'm excited to pick him up.
Spin rates way up for Dylan Cease, also using his curveball and changeup a little bit more over his past 2 starts. So looks like he's working his way into a legitimate 4-pitch mix. 67% rostered on CBS. That needs to be close to 100. He is a must-add right now in fantasy baseball. Let's talk about a few outfielders that you might want to add, Scott. And between Raimel Tapia, who hit a grand slam on Tuesday, Andrew McCutchen, a double dong. He hit 2 home runs. He now has 3 over his last 3 games. And Willie Calhoun, who hit a home run off of lefty reliever extraordinaire Taylor Rogers. If you could only pick one, which one would you go with?
I go with Calhoun, definitely, by far. I think he has the most upside. I think he has the highest floor too, just because he doesn't strike out that much. Obviously, he had issues dating back to last season after getting hit in the jaw in spring training. Then didn't seem quite comfortable at the plate, but he seems to have overcome that after his early season IL stint this year. He's looked very comfortable at the plate, and he's been playing against lefties even, which was a big concern, him being a left-handed hitter, of course. He homered off a lefty, Taylor Rogers, in Tuesday's game. So he keeps doing that. They're going to keep putting him out there, I think. The Rangers will. And definitely my favorite of that group, Willie Calhoun.
And look, Willie Calhoun is not Christian Yelich. He's not Luis Robert, but there are a lot of injuries in the outfield right now. So if you need someone, I think Willie Calhoun is a nice replacement there for you. How about these starting pitchers, Scott? Who would you rather add between Shane McClanahan? He threw 4 shutout against the Angels on Tuesday with 5 strikeouts, but it seems like Tampa Bay is going to limit him a little bit. And Cole Irvin against the Toronto Blue Jays. 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, only 43% rostered. Who would you rather have, McClanahan or Cole Irvin?
Well, look, if I was confident Irvin could keep this going, I would think he would have the higher potential for impact, because McClanahan, back-to-back starts here, only 4 innings, and it's not like he's been inefficient, so they have to pull him because of pitch counts. He hasn't even thrown 65 pitches yet. So it seems like the Rays, in typical Rays fashion, are being extra careful with his workload. And, you pitch 4 innings, it doesn't matter how good they are, you can't get a win. And that's going to be a problem for McClanahan. But here's the thing with Irvin. I'm not actually sure he's good. He has allowed just 4 earned runs over his last 4 starts, I believe it is.
Yep.
So I'm on a good run. And, getting the innings that McClanahan isn't. But not a good whiff rate. Actually, a really low ground ball rate. His xFIP is surprisingly respectable considering it's 362. That's not bad at all. But I think the very low walk rate is doing a lot of the lifting there, and I don't think he can sustain it. So I look at the xERA, quality of contact measure, it being over 5, and I think, Irvin might be in trouble in the long run. So I'm not putting a lot of faith in him, even though he's on a nice run.
So who do you want between McClanahan and Irving?
McClanahan, because of that. I'll take the inning for inning production and just hope the innings come around. But, easier to do in a 5x5 league than a points league.
Quickly wrap up with some news. Jacob deGrom was scratched from his start on Tuesday, and an MRI showed inflammation in his right lat. He will refrain from throwing for the next few days. Christian Yelich, he returned on Monday from a back injury, and he has re-injured that back, placed on the IL once again, and it sounds like the Brewers are pretty worried about it. So there's going to be a lengthy absence here for Christian Yelich as well. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.